Hey, changing gears, what do you think of Obama having the beer sit down? We're going to all be talking about this tonight on TV.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a mess that he got into by saying anything about a local thing. I mean, hey, that cop was so intelligent. I mean, that's what fucked him over.
It really did.
If the cop hadn't said anything, it would have just gone away. But that cop just said, hey, and he even said, I support the president.
I support the president. He goes, hey.
It's a local thing, and you shouldn't get, you don't know everything that happened. Every time something, it just shows that every time something happens when nobody was there, just a private moment between two people, then everyone's wrong. Absolutely everyone's wrong. No one should say a fucking thing.
How do you
don't know you weren't there. And then nobody knows what the woman really said when she called them. Everything gets distorted because people bring their own thing. So when you start with something and then you become the president saying something
the president
as definitive as that was stupid.
You should know better.
But it's because, then nobody knows what it's like to be Barack Obama and Louis Gates Jr. If you're black, like here's the thing with Louis Gates Jr., the thing that white people have to keep in mind, because we have different timelines in our heads. Like white people often say, I've heard so many white people say, slavery was 400 years ago. It was 130 years ago. It was really recent. People say that. Hey, we started 400 years ago. Slavery began.
We kind of mopped up.
Yeah, we got a couple centuries in.
And also
hit the lights until about
130 years ago is when it really stopped. And also it didn't stop, and then things have been just awesome for black people since. That's the last bad thing to happen to any black person was slavery 400 years ago. That's what we think. And since then, we've just been showering them with gifts since then. It ended officially 130 years ago, really continued for another 80. And then,
give or take.
The thing to remember is that if a black guy or a black woman has little gray hair at the temples, they lived in an America where they were legally barred from using certain fucking bathrooms. where the country didn't let them use the fucking bathroom. Keep your big, black, smelly cock out of this room, you fucking black bastard. Like, that was the official American law.
Right.
Was you can't pee anywhere you want, fucking coon. Yeah. That's what it was like. And so you take that. So anybody that age remembers that and has had to live and go, okay, thank you for now letting me do what I should have always been able to do. Or you were raised by somebody. If anybody younger, a black person in their 30s or younger was raised by somebody who lived in an America like that.
Right.
So how do you fucking Louis Gates Jr., he's the president of fucking Harvard, and he sees a cop looking at him twice. He's like, what do I got to do? What the fuck do I got to do? So if you're the president of Barack Obama, you got Louis Gates Jr. calling you on the phone and telling you and just screaming at you, and you're like, oh boy.
No, I gotta say something.
Guys Barack's age are raised, again, they're their parents. So for better or worse.
Which one, though? The white one or the black one?
Well, I mean, every black person is Barack. I mean, imagine what Barack gets from black people older than him. Okay, now that you're in there, you're going to apologize for, take down the Washington Monument. He's like, look, I can't take down the Washington.
Black.
Listen, I can't take it down. Paint the White House black. I can't. Look, small moves. Fuck you. I told you if you get in there, you're painting the White House black. Yes, I did. Look.
White House black.
Ugh. When he got the call from Louis Gates Jr., he rubbed his temples and went, oh, God. I gotta say something.
Speech coming up here. I gotta say something.
I gotta say,
say something. In front
and then he
prefaced
his
family
saying, "I wasn't there.
Yes,
but now let me talk like I was.
Yes,
and get into all kinds of trouble.
Exactly. So I think he made a mistake by saying something, but it's an understandable mistake on some level.
It turns out the cop was
that Stalker Patty on Maury just now?
Yeah.
Are they still running that?
Yeah.
That thing
that episode's running today. If anybody wants to watch it. Yeah.
That thing has been rerun probably 10 times. She talks about how she.
God bless her. All right, anyway, back to the president.
But what a great angle that I haven't heard from anyone yet about Obama and the shit he has to hear from people.
What he hears from older
that
black
we
generation.
never get to hear.
No, we have no idea what kind of pressure he has.
You got to imagine those phone calls are pretty fucking brutal. Like
you got to say something.
Yeah, you got to do this for all of us.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, and part of having a black president now, it is a major difference, is that you're going to hear a perspective you're not used to hearing. That's all. And it's not always going to be right. It's going to be flawed from a black perspective. But it's just we have never.
We've never been.
Never been in that situation.
Here's the only problem. I can wrap it up with what people believe I am. People believe I'm just a horrific racist.
I don't think you are.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah.
I'm not that
I think you're
horrific.
a delightful racist.
I'm very good. Now, here's the thing. I cannot stand the disproportionate amount of crime and violence in the black community amongst young black men. Mm-hmm. The disproportionate amount of violent, sheer, brutal fucking violence. And I'm not even talking just against, white folk. Black on black is amazing. It is amazing the willingness and quickness at which they will kill each other over nothing. And that, to me, separates. It's too separate. I can't relate to it. I don't know other people that can relate to it.
Did you ever live in like a black neighborhood?
Yes, I lived in Central Islip. I lived on Hawthorne Avenue, if you know where that is.
But were you in like a white enclave, or were you in a black neighborhood?
Nope. I was in a black neighborhood with a few white kids that were petrified for their lives on a daily basis going to school. There was this kid, I can't, Keith Green, his name was, and he'd come up to me and go, "Give me 50 cents. Give me 50 cents every day." And I'd have to give him 50 cents. or it was like, wham, you're getting whacked.
Fucking head roll.
You have to give him 50
cents. And I was
it had to be 50. It literally wasn't 50.
Right.
It was 50.
Yeah, and Danny put the picture of 50 up.
I think there's a 50. There's got to be a 50-cent piece at some point.
50 cent, give me 50 cents. And he'd look down at me like give me 50 cents. Like and I'd be petrified.
Sure.
I was so scared.
That's all he wanted was 50 cents?
Just 50
You're
cents.
like, I got $1. He's like, no,
50.
though,
dude. So 50 cents was...
With inflation, that's, it's probably $10.
That
was everything. That was lunch. That was, hanging out, candy after school. Everything.
50 cents.
All that
50 cents was huge.
All that for 50 cents?
Back in the day.
God damn.
Opie, back in the day. But, I don't like the excuse of
Coke and a Snickers.
That whole thing. Like the whole, all right, you're brought up in a black neighborhood, it's impoverished, it's this, it's that.
Well, I don't think it's that simple. I think, I lived in Roxbury for a while in Massachusetts.
Yes, in a pleasant area.
Very nice. In the Parker Street project. I lived on Parker Street next door to the Parker Street projects.
Wow.
My car was stolen while I was fucking a girl. Like, I was fucking a girl in my apartment, and I heard glass, like that sound of car glass breaking, that safety glass. Like outside the window, and I'm like, fucking, okay, that's right outside the window.
That's my car.
And then I hear the car starting. I'm like, that's my fucking car.
Oh, jeez.
And I run out on the street and watch the car. I'm looking at the taillights of my car, and someone else is in it. And I go back and I call 911. Somebody stole my car. I can still hear it going down the Parker Street hill. And the guy goes, "You got to come in and fill out a report." And I go, "No, fucking send somebody here."
Right.
He goes, "No, you have to come down to the precinct and fill out paperwork." And it's because I lived on the Parker Street projects, cops would not come there. They wouldn't come there. When I grew up in Newton, Massachusetts, there's fucking cops circling our house like the president is having dinner there.
Wonderful.
Constant police surveillance.
Isn't that great?
Of rich neighborhoods. No, and Parker Street, my neighbors were lovely people who lived behind bars. It's like Ross Perot said in one of the debates. These people they put themselves in prison in order to protect themselves because cops won't go to these places and the city won't fucking clean the streets.
Why?
Because they don't give a shit about those people. Yeah, because
it's not so much that they don't give a shit about those people. They fuck themselves by going in those neighborhoods. Cops put their lives and their careers.
It's not the specific police. It's what resources are allocated to what places. And rich neighborhoods get more resources allocated to them than poor neighborhoods, and because that's where the tax bases are.
The tax is also paying for that protection. Yes,
it's really poor on poor violence, and black people have a poor look to them because a lot of them are poor and they have been historically. So it is a cycle, I think, though. I think it's a cycle.
So there's nobody that can.
If you neglect a neighborhood, everybody will. People rob and kill their neighbors. That's what people do. Yeah. They don't go to other areas.
Oh no, I realize very rarely it does happen. But but I'm saying yes. That's why I was saying black on black crime is amazing. You ever watch First 48, where they got to take the first 48 hours of a murder.